So the Yukon Gear kit that we have in this video should appeal to the new Edge owners out there looking to go with an all-inclusive kit to solidify and upgrade the solid rear 8.8 in your Mustang. This includes replacing that factory diff with a Posi unit from Yukon, in addition to upgrading those weak factory axles with 31 spline units also from Yukon themselves. Taking that a step further, I would say this kit's a little bit more geared towards the guys and gals out there already making big power with your GT or Mach 1, or maybe plan on making big power with your ride and have plans to hit the strip at one point or another, as these parts are certainly going to be up to the abuse. Price point's going to be right around 600 bucks for the diff, the axles, and the bearing and seal kit, which I really think is a solid deal overall. Install, on the other hand, that's going to get a 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, as there is a decent amount of work involved. But first things first, let's focus in on the Duragrip Posi here from Yukon Gear, because in my opinion, it's the centerpiece of the whole kit. Now this is their Duragrip Posi. It is going to be a step below their Yukon Grizzly locker in regards to overall effectiveness, or aggressiveness rather, and at the same time the Duragrip will provide you with a very smooth operation. It's gonna be a very streetable diff, but at the same time can still provide you with plenty of lockup, putting power down to both tires when needed. Now that Grizzly, on the other hand, well, it's a locker, right? It's gonna be a little bit more rough around the edges. It's not gonna be as streetable as the Duragrip Posi that we have here. You're gonna hear a little bit more noise out of that thing, and turns might be a little goofy for the first few times. On the other hand, the Grizzly will be the preferred diff of choice for my hardcore drag racers out there. You can grab that on the site if you'd like. It's gonna be a little bit more money than the Duragrip that we have in this video, and it will also not include the 31 spline axles that are included here with this kit. Now the Duragrip is a clutch-based differential, meaning you'll find composite-style clutches loaded within this thing, in addition to 4 aggressive preload springs as well, which will help with overall operation and lockup when needed. Because it is a clutch-based differential, this thing is rebuildable just in case you ever burn those things out after years of abuse. As far as your exterior construction, well, nodular iron is what you're going to be looking at here for the overall housing, but the inside is built to last as well. A lot of forged steel going on within this diff here, including the spider gears, and they are cut in a certain way to help prolong the lifespan, which can be a weak spot with these particular diffs. And speaking of weak spots, let's talk about the next part included with this kit, and that is the Yukon Gear upgraded 31 spline axles to be replacing your 28 spline axles in your GT or Mach 1 from the factory. Now the general consensus here, or general rule of thumb, is that you're going to be looking at roughly a 30% increase in strength, just simply based off of spline count alone. But Yukon even takes that a step further and supplies you guys with some awesome materials. We're talking heat-treated 1541 alloy steel for the basic material of the axles themselves, in addition to that rolled spline design, which is just much stronger than the factory stockers that you will be replacing, those 28 spline options. Now these guys are just a must-have for anybody who plans on taking their new Edge GT or Mach 1 to the drag strip and subject it to some hard launches. And as far as the price, well, we did mention that briefly earlier, guys. You're looking at right around 600 bucks for the Yukon kit. Really nothing quite like it on the site currently in regards to a diff and axle package, making this thing pretty much one of a kind. Now you also have to factor in, besides the 5 lug axles, the diff, they're also tossing in all of the bearings and seals and shims needed for the installation, which overall makes this an awesome turnkey package for any new Edge owner out there. I do want to point out that if you're considering doing a gear change in your new Edge, whether you've gone forced induction or whatever, now would be the time to do so, because let's face it, guys, you're going to be cracking open that diff, you're going to be doing all the work, you might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Obviously, I'm going to recommend checking out our gear selection here on the site, as we have a number to choose from. But just check them out. Again, save yourself the headache of having to do something twice and knock the gears out at the same time as this. And speaking of that install, listen guys, I'm not going to go step by step here, because obviously there's a lot of things to consider when doing a job of this magnitude. Instead, I'm just going to call it 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, anywhere from a few hours to a half a day or more in the shop or garage, depending on your level of expertise. So whether you plan on putting your new Edge through some hard launches at the drag strip, or you just want to solidify and bulletproof the rear end, you'll definitely want to check out the affordable Yukon Gear diff and axle combo here at AmericanMuscle.com.